This is Bad Movies We Love, part of the Shice Podcast Network.
If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
Hello, Bad Movie Lovers, and welcome back to Bad Movies We Love. I am your host, Nick Scheist.
The master of this stupid stuff!
And that stupid stuff takes us to April, which is Kung Foolery month here at the show. So we are going to be taking on a variety of films ranging from endearing to full-fledged martial arts exploitation. So, for better or for worse, we're in for the long haul. And speaking of the long haul, you can sign up to become a supporting member of the Resistance for just $5 a month. That'll get you access to all of the exclusive shows like Baimon Sci-Fi Con, Bad Movie Futures, Rom-Comathon. It'll get you access to the Discord server, and you'll automatically be entered to win in all future contests. Plus, that money doesn't just go straight into my pocket. It gets recycled right back into the show to do things like buy that music that you hear, not this music, but the music that comes after this at the beginning of every episode. I pay to license that from a real artist every single time I do the show. So not only would you be supporting me, you'd also be supporting musicians that are selling their music in a worldwide marketplace. And another great way to support the show is to go to your podcast platform of choice and leave a rating and a review. I know it seems like a small thing, but if you're listening to this show right now on a device or on a desktop, all you have to do is open the show and there should be a ratings and a review feature right there for you. And while you're there, you can also click on the link that takes you to the show survey. The survey is completely anonymous, so you can tell me exactly what you think of the show. And if you don't want to tell me what you think about it, word of mouth is still the best way to help. So if you enjoy the show, just please tell somebody else about the show, because that's really how stuff like this grows organically, and that's how we've been doing it the entire time. So thanks to those of you who have taken the time to share the show with a friend or with a loved one, or even with a stranger. That might be a little bit creepy, but if it works, it works. Okay, that's enough of that, because without further ado, I was joined by Mich Ruby, one half of Movie Friends. My friend Michelle stopped by to talk about the Chuck Norris fantasy karate movie that was directed by his brother Aaron Norris. That's right, it's 1992's Sidekicks.
Last night, I felt so good watching this on my couch. I was like, if you need a feel-good, pick-me-up moment, watch these sequences.
Joe Piscopo is ridiculous, but he's amazing.
Like, if I could just roll into a room and jump up and kick, no one would expect that.
It's like there's just no room for Chuck Norris and his beard.
So don't worry about it, it won't kill him. It just smells and tastes disgusting.
The middle is where the meat is, and speaking of meat,
We need to host a Sidekicks party.
a boy dreams of Chuck, but not the girl he wants to fuck.
I have chills right now.
None of us are probably well trained enough to take on the weapons or brick-breaking competition.
Sorry, Seth. Goodbye. I'm leaving Movie Friends.
Chuck Norris? Chuck Norris? He doesn't compete anymore, kid. And one of the main reasons he doesn't is me.
Okay, let's,
Yeah, he doesn't compete because I would kick his ass.
Let's go, son. Come on.
Kick his ass.
Got you the first time.
Michelle, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Nick. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. It's been a long time coming.
It really has. We got
Okay.
to hang out in September when you and Kristen came to the Movie Friends live show for Space Jam. And then I've just been kind of lurking in the background of like, how can I get on Nick's podcast? How can I get on Bad Movies We Love? I have just the film I could talk about with him.
It's a great choice, but since it's your first time here, do you want to tell my audience a little bit about yourself in case they don't know who you are already?
Sure. I'm 50% of Movie Friends podcast. I co-host that show with Seth Vargas, and I'm also 50% of the Total Betty podcast network, where we cover nostalgic teen dramas. Currently, my co-host Liz Daly and I are covering every episode of the teen series Pretty Little Liars.
It's a good one. I know Kristen has watched that show.
I had great conversations with Kristen about PLL, and she grew up with Troyan, so I much enjoyed hearing that from her.
Yeah, she's very excited that we have embarked on a TV journey together, and she's like, let's choose a show that has 6 seasons and 110 episodes. I'm like, okay, we couldn't start with a mini series or, something that was on HBO, so it only has like 10 episodes a year. So we're diving in feet first, but it's been fun so far. We're going to work on that a little bit tonight and tomorrow. So
you're covering Brothers and Sisters?
Yes.
I have never seen that, actually.
I don't know anyone who has besides her. So our audience may be very small for this first 30 plus weeks of that show. But it's fun to like have something to do with her consistently, and that like she's like very invested in. So maybe I'll give her the social media type of stuff for that
there
show.
You go.
Like you work on promoting it. I got enough to do.
Right. Yeah. Find the people.
Yeah. Well, today we are talking about Sidekicks from 1992. And this is directed by Aaron Norris. Might sound familiar. Written by Lou Illar, Galen, Thompson. And starring, of course, Chuck Norris, Jonathan Brandis, Beau Bridges, Mako, and Joe Piscopo and Julian Nixon. It's a deeper cast than I initially thought from just remembering it. But was this a movie that Seth did not let you bring onto the show for Movie Friends?
So funny you ask that. So we have a Patreon show called Super Amazing Film Club. Mm-hmm. And so that's the movie I brought. And it's like well-loved movies that maybe other people don't love as much. And Seth never saw Sidekicks. And so I couldn't wait to discuss it with him. And not many people have seen this movie. Have you seen this before this episode?
Yeah, I watched it a lot when it was on cable. I did.
No way. You don't seem too excited about that.
I had not watched it probably in the last 30 years or so, but
okay.
In fairness, I did like it a lot when I was a kid. I was into martial arts like a lot of kids were. So I was consuming stuff like this and Three Ninjas and Karate Kid and American Ninja, which is probably like the guiltiest pleasure type of bad movie that fits this mold. So it was right in my wheelhouse for that kind of stuff that was of its time and really wanted to capitalize on sort of like the young white boy is now interested in karate. So we're making an entire film genre about it. Ninja Turtles was probably like the most popular of those at the time. But was there something specific about this movie where you said like, this is the one that I'm bringing to bad movies we love?
Yeah. I came across this movie when I was probably 10 or 11. And this was a random VHS purchase from the grocery store. Okay. And the reason I chose this was because of the cover was a yin yang. And yin yangs were huge in the 90s.
Yep.
That's the only reason why I chose this movie. And I asked my mom, I remember being in the grocery store and be like, Mom, can I get this? And she was like, sure. And so from there, I would watch it over and over, and I would make my friends watch it. And that's it. That's where it stopped. Like, it didn't make me interested in martial arts movies. I've never seen The Karate Kid. I've never seen Three Ninjas. I didn't watch any Chuck Norris movies after that. This one is my special gem. And the fact that you've seen this makes me really excited because no one I have ever met has seen this movie besides me. Yeah.
Wow. I am the target demographic for stuff like this for sure. But this is a movie, we'll go to the tail of the tape here. This is a movie with an IMDb score of 5.2. Rotten Tomato critic score of 26, audience score of 48. Letterboxd clocks in at a 2.7. There was no Metascore, so Metacritic doesn't even bother with the existence of this film. But it gives us a Bad Movies We Love total score of 45 out of 100, which is not terrible on this show's scale. Like, that's sort of like middle high range for the stuff that we talk about on this show. And since you mentioned that I'm the only person that you know that has watched this, besides all the people that you forced to watch it in your own childhood.
Yeah.
I reached out to some friends to see, like, hey, who has seen this movie? And a couple of people responded. So I'm going to go to the mailbag.
You've got mail.
And grab some responses from some friends. Stephanie, my co-host on Baimon Sci-Fi Con, she's been on the show several times. She says, as someone who retreats into active fantasy as a coping mechanism, and always has, this movie has a profound effect on me. I even bought a used VHS on eBay when I was in college because I needed to see it again. Also, one of my friends in elementary school was Jonathan Brandis' cousin. So
I have chills right now. Legit, Stephanie, you gave me chills. Wow. That warms my heart. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then my buddy Donnie, who also was into sort of martial arts movies like this. He did Roadhouse with me. He's done a couple episodes of the show. He said he had a burnt VHS copy of this that he wore out. Laugh out loud emoji.
These are my people. Oh my God, I can't believe I made Seth watch this 2 years ago. I should have reached out way earlier and found my community. Wow.
It's crazy that I watched it a bunch on TV.
Yeah.
Just anytime it was on and I was like scrolling through channels, I'm like, oh, this again. So I just like watch it, enjoy it. Two of these people that that responded here, they had VHSs of this. Someone bought it off of eBay. Stephanie bought it off eBay while she was in college. So 20 plus years down the line was like, I gotta see this movie again. And then Donnie like ruined his VHS copy. He played it so much.
Wow.
So you found
I feel like I
people.
need to hang out with them and have a viewing party. We need to host a Sidekicks party.
We can make that happen if you want to.
Right? And like we
got
can
the
have
ability.
Yes, we could set up like themed snacks and we could have competitions. Be like, which competition would be yours? Would you do weapons? Would you do breaking? I'm getting ahead of myself, but I love a theme so much.
I will say none of us are probably well trained enough to take on the weapons or brick breaking competition.
We can mime, you know?
We can, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do styrofoam bricks.
Yes,
Yeah.
there you go.
So let me set the table for all those people out there who are like, what is this movie? Why are you two so excited for this? And so Sidekicks was primarily filmed in Houston, Texas as a passion project of local furniture mogul Jim Mattress McIngvale, partnering with Chuck Norris and his Kick Drugs at a School campaign. McIngvale invested $8 million into the film. Norris, who had appeared in his commercials, proposed the idea, and Mattress Mac took on the challenge of financing and producing it. In his book, Always Think Big, Mattress Mac said he was reflecting on the experience, calling the film production work extremely hard. Well, duh.
Yeah, right?
This ain't selling mattresses, but the film debuted at number 2 at the U.S. box office and ended up grossing $17 million during its domestic run. So that's pretty impressive considering that a lot of Chuck Norris's movies sort of were the straight to video variety.
Have you seen other Chuck Norris movies?
I've seen like 1 or 2. Like Chuck Norris was not my preferred action star at the time. I think it was too busy. I was already watching Stallone and Arnold and some Seagal stuff and Van Damme. I was like, there's just no room for Chuck Norris and his beard.
Get out of here. Basic. Yeah.
And apparently he's got some really, really good ones. And of all those guys, he's probably the most well-accomplished martial artist in real life of all those guys. So that's kind of crazy.
There's always time. There's always time.
There's always time. That gives, I think, a good enough overview. But before we actually talk a little bit about the movie in detail, it's time for our synopsis haikus. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You want to go first?
Sure. Okay, here is my haiku. Insecure Barry, who has dreams he escapes to. Chuck Norris believes.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
I like that. Poor Barry.
I know.
He is
very
pretty
wary.
insecure. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What do I got? This was challenging because I wanted to go one direction. I was like, this is a PG movie. I need to roll it back a little bit here.
Oh, I kind of want to hear that version.
Well, I didn't finish it because I stopped. But after you hear the first line, maybe you can get it. I came up with a boy dreams of Chuck, bullied instead. Ain't that the luck? Proves himself at last.
Hey, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I know. I was going in the direction of a boy dreams of Chuck, but not the girl he wants to fuck.
Oh, yes.
And I was like,
There
everybody
it
can
is.
relate to the cliche teenage boy fantasy of wanting to hang out with Chuck Norris.
Of course. Of course.
Okay. Well, you and I both like this movie. We've heard from some other people that like this movie. But if you had to put yourself in the shoes of a snarky critic who doesn't like this movie, why do you think someone would say it's in fact a bad movie?
I mean, from what I've heard, people say it's a ripoff of Karate Kid.
I mean, it's pretty much like Karate Kid, but for kids of the 90s and not kids of the 80s.
Yeah. So it's our generation's Karate Kid. We reframed the wording.
Yeah. It's very similar structurally in a lot of ways. But I think where the Karate Kid differs is that the Karate Kid was not trying to be a movie that appealed to children. It was just trying to be a movie, and it happened to find its audience in a very like rapidly growing community of fans of martial arts, at least on screen. So it was like, Bruce Lee left, and then it was like his mythos left this huge vacuum where it was like everybody's trying to capitalize on it now. So the Karate Kid comes out in, I think, 84, and all of a sudden, like, was so popular that it spawns several other movies. But like the karate's not even particularly good in that movie, if I'm being fair, because it's focused on a movie about really like this kid and his mom who they move across the country. His dad's out of the picture. And so he's like grappling with that loss of that relationship. And he's like not connecting with his mom. And then he finds the surrogate father relationship in Pat Morita. And then he learns the karate from him. But also like there's bullying, of course. And there's a girl love interest that he's got to, fight for. So a lot of that stuff is tentpoles in this film as well. But yeah, this is a movie that's much more focused on its love for martial arts, I think.
Yeah. And I think also, well, again, and please chime in about Karate Kid, like believing in yourself, overcoming what maybe you thought you couldn't achieve.
Yeah, this movie actually, I think, is probably a little bit more focused on that because like Daniel LaRusso that we get in Karate Kid he's not like an insecure loser. He's just the new kid, right?
Oh,
like,
interesting.
The first time he sees the girl, it's like, oh, he's different. And he's got the accent. I think he's from like Philly or something in that story. And so like he's immediately like flirting with the girls and he doesn't feel out of place. And he's at the beach and like all this stuff is going well for him. But then the other boys at the school don't like him because he's stealing their thunder. So it's a very different like starting point for the character. But like he wants to learn karate so he can kick their ass, and it's sort of through his surrogate father-son relationship with Mr. Miyagi that he learns that karate isn't about like it's not about beating people up. So he learns that like standing up for himself and just like having confidence in himself goes a long way.
Yeah. Did you ever take karate?
I did. I took like one class when I was like really, really young, and I don't remember it that well, but the class did not go well.
Oh, why?
Yeah. I don't remember exactly, but I was like, yeah, things are going great. I know everything that's going on. And then the instructor was like, okay, now we're doing this. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And I threw like a tantrum and my mom yanked me out of there rather than being like, no, you stay and figure it out. So,
yeah, I took jujitsu, but way after I found this movie. And it was just like in my awkward beginning teen years, and I didn't stay very long. And it didn't go great either. But after, every time I watch this as an adult, I'm like, man, I should have stayed. I would love to just like whip out a kick-ass move. No one would see it coming from me. Like if I could just roll into a room and jump up and kick, no one would expect that. No one would expect that.
I mean, you can practice that one move and probably get
and also
pretty good
self-defense.
Yeah.
There's that too. But
yeah, there's self-defense classes out there.
Yeah.
I think you could do it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, let's turn back the clock here and we'll take a look at the trailer for this movie because I don't remember ever seeing a trailer. This was just like, I see people throwing kicks on the cover. So I'm probably going to watch this.
Yeah.
I'm a very simple young man, of course. Hiya! Are you tired of fighting your mattress every night? Well, then come on down to Ninja Mattress, where we chop prices and roundhouse discomfort right out of your bedroom. Whether you're a light sleeper, a heavy dreamer, or a sidekick who sleeps sideways, Ninja Mattress knows that even sidekicks need sleep support. Memory foam, we got it. Kung Fu coil springs, you bet. And every mattress comes with a 5-year dojo-tested durability guarantee. So if you're dreaming of high kicks and hanging out with Chuck Norris, don't sleep on this deal. Sleep on it. Come on down to Ninja Mattress, located off I-45 next to the dojo and the vape shop, where every night ends with a bow and a backflip. Hiya! And now, back to the show. Let's see. Got that? Okay.
Oh, sweet.
There was a lot more guns in this movie than I remembered.
Yeah, but also like not overly violent either, in my opinion. Am I jaded? I don't know.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks for helping me out again.
It's like they never
That's all right,
shoot
Chuck.
anybody. They just sort of
Right.
shoot the dirt a bunch.
Right. Don't you want this white suit? That white karate suit?
I want it so bad.
So bad. Oh.
He's made up this world where he can be.
I would just stand in the mirror
Chuck Norris.
looking at myself in that suit.
Except I'd look like the
Sidekick.
Michelin Man.
do things together.
Barry is only a winner in his dreams.
Mullets and sawed-off shotguns.
So where's your friend Chucky now, retard?
Now, there's someone I want you and your dad to meet.
But hope is coming his way.
That is your first lesson. You must
This music right
always
here.
Be ready.
Oh, it makes me so happy.
I will help you learn what you want to know. You
Good
will work
montage
with
music.
these an hour
good.
each day. If you make a mistake, they will.
It's very irresponsible of this instructor to just hand the kid nunchucks and like, good luck with that.
Start climbing.
Now he
Did
has
your
the
high
guts
school
to
have rope
try
climbing?
To be worthy of
Not
his
in high school, but in elementary school.
Listen to them.
Wow.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
I wish
Guess
What
I
about
missed
yours?
out. No, I've never seen a rope hanging from the ceiling.
Who's he talking to?
You can do it, Barry!
She always looks so worried, Lauren. She's a distressed face.
Yeah. And I think, being a fan of, I can't think of the Wonder
Winnie?
Years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge crush on her when I was like 10. So like seeing her in this movie, like, of course.
It's not gonna be so easy this time.
At this point, we're cheering, right?
Oh yeah.
Shot at me? Karate tournament?
I will say though, for a kid who's got asthma and a lot of like insecurity issues,
Why don't you
he's got a
just
hell
quit
of a
now,
chin
avoid the
because the
embarrassment?
bully kicks him in the head like 6 or 7 times, and he doesn't even fall down.
I know.
and fight at his side.
Why don't you and I go win this thing, huh?
A dreamer, a champion, an unbeatable team.
Gotta love that they set the bricks on fire.
So the added touch.
Yeah. I was like, did the fire actually do anything, or it just made it extra flashy?
Extra flashy.
It was very funny. I was like, did he weaken the bricks, and is that why he was able to do it? But
In my head, I'm like, yeah, let's heat it up, baby.
yeah, I mean, it looks cool for sure. But then they just left a pile of fiery bricks all over the center of the stage and walked off. So,
Well, we just have to.
Mr. Lee, you not so great with the childcare. You're a good role model in a lot of ways, but a lot of the things you do are a little suspect.
I love Mr. Lee. I wish I had a Mr. Lee in my life.
He's great. Mako is great as that character as well. So oddly enough, he was in contention for the role of Mr. Miyagi for the 1984 Karate Kid.
Wow.
So he got his moment of redemption where he got to, be that character basically and do it in a way that is still a lot of fun. It's not quite as serious as Pat Morita's portrayal. And I think it's important because this movie definitely is firmly aware of its identity as a comedy, where Karate Kid, it's not a comedy. Like there's some funny moments, but it's played fairly seriously.
Wow. One day I will watch Karate Kid because I'm just very curious about everything and the way you're describing it.
It's the first movie we ever did for the Twitter Film Club. Somebody picked Karate Kid, and there was people that, friends of mine that are in their 30s that are like, yeah, I've never seen it. So I was like, okay, well, you didn't have the same childhood as me. Not everybody grew up, idolizing sort of Daniel LaRusso and wanting to wax cars in order to train my shoulder strength to defend punches and kicks. I think it has something to do with that, painting fences. I mean, Mr. Miyagi's like enjoying his child labor, but also, you're going to learn. And I think that's a fun part of it, in that LaRusso's an awkward enough character where you're pulling for him just because he's like the fish out of water, and all the characters around him for the most part are very clearly identifiable as like people that you don't like. So as he's trying to learn karate and Miyagi's like messing with him, you sort of want him to like vent his frustration. So it feels very natural. I think The Karate Kid's actually a pretty good movie. Mm-hmm. It's just maybe not like the greatest movie of all time, but
yeah, I mean,
most things aren't.
Exactly.
In fairness.
And not everybody's going to agree what the greatest movie of all time is.
No, nobody's going to agree on that.
No.
Start fights.
That's right.
On social media. But yeah, so is there something in particular that like you really loved about this movie when you saw it, where you're like, I have to show this to other people. I need to infect all of my friends with this virus?
As much as I can. I think, as Stephanie said, she would escape to dreams. I was a dreamer as a kid. And I really, really loved how Barry, he's this bullied teen. And he's so different than our typical loser, in my opinion, because he's not like the nerd. He just kind of has no friends. And that doesn't necessarily mean like you're a smart or academic, right? I love the believing in yourself and letting go of your crutch and the relationship he has with Mr. Lee, and also just the training sequences. Like if I want to feel good and inspired, like last night, I felt so good watching this on my couch. I was like, if you need a feel good, pick me up moment, watch these sequences. It just brings me great joy. And that, I mean, again, that's like part of nostalgia. I have a tie, I have a love for this movie. So
that's fair. And I mean, like I hadn't seen it in so long that I didn't know really what to expect, like from my adult mind.
Right.
But the things that I remembered liking about it, I still liked. But most of what I liked about it was all the stuff I didn't pay attention to originally. Like Joe Piscopo is ridiculous, but he's amazing in this movie.
He's so good.
You need him to be the villain. And like it's very clear that the movie knows Karate Kid exists. It knows other films within that genre exist, and it makes sure to take time to not necessarily like poke fun at those movies, but to let you know as the viewer that like we're all on the same page of this movie exists within sort of the box of these other films. And you have when he first meets Stone and he's at the dojo and he's like lecturing the karate champion on what karate is, and they have their little back and forth, and then he becomes the villain in all of these fantasies. You're really like getting some great comedic stuff out of Piscopo, who's playing now all of these other characters.
Yeah.
And the movie introduces us in one of these fantasies. So it's like you don't really know what the movie's going to be if you just look at the poster. And you have this young woman, like she's bound and captive by some ninjas. You have Jonathan Brandis' character back handspringing his way into the scene where he locks arms with Chuck Norris and they just go around in a circle kicking faces. That sequence, like, I think if you're expecting the movie to be serious, it looks dumb. But if you're not expecting it to be serious, the way that it's edited is hilarious because they just keep going and then they're just they're cutting to just bodies hitting the floor. And it's like, wow. I was like, okay, this movie let me know very early on what the tone is.
Totally. And also just the exaggerated sound effects. I picked up a lot more when I was watching last night. I was like, man, I need to do something where I could just add in sound effects like this. This is so good. Just like the exaggerated punch, the kick sounding. It's just so good.
The Foley artists that get to do that must have a lot of fun. I've seen some behind the scenes stuff of how they do it. And sometimes it's like they'll break some lettuce to like get that bone crunching sound. But I've seen also like they swing like wet meat or something at the board. So you get the I guess is that if you want it to sound like really authentic. But, you know, the movie, it pivots between the fantasies, which I think there were a lot more of than I remembered. Like every other scene almost is a Chuck Norris fantasy. He's falling asleep in all these locations, daydreaming about Chuck Norris. And I guess like the biggest question for me was like, where did that come from? I mean, we see him at one point on the ground. He's watching a Chuck Norris movie and he begins to like drift off into that fantasy. And then dad comes and turns off the TV. But it's like he's already obsessed with Chuck Norris before we ever actually meet him or Chuck Norris has any like entry point to the actual story. Because this movie could totally go through all of its progression without including Chuck Norris in like the actual part of the story. But it's a nice little like cherry on top at the end because every other time we see him, he's in essentially a Chuck Norris movie. And this kid just happens to be there with him.
Right. And he's always carrying around a magazine that features Chuck Norris. Is this a martial arts magazine?
Black Belt magazine? I think it is. But
that would make sense by the title.
Don't quote me on that. It's been a while. But like this kid is so obsessed with Chuck Norris that the bully tears the cover of the magazine right down the middle of Chuck Norris's face. Cool. And then I think he tapes it back together at some point because we do see the cover as whole again, but we never see him like taping it back together with like tears streaming down his face.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's always carrying that around. And so that kind of also makes him drift off. Like, have you ever had a daydream so powerful where you're drifting on and you have to literally be snapped out of it? Like if you're in a classroom or even at home or, you know, at a restaurant or something. I don't know.
Me personally, no, I don't think I've ever had a daydream at all, which is
what?
Weird. I dream very actively when I'm asleep. I have very intense dreams, but when I'm awake, it's like, nope, that curtain is down. I don't daydream.
Wow.
I kind of like, I'll stare off into space and zone out, start thinking about something else, but it's not really like a fantasy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Cause I'm thinking, I'm like, I think zoning out and daydreaming could be two different things. Zoning out could be a short period versus a full on daydream of what Barry is experiencing.
Yeah. It's so active for him that he's swinging his arms up to protect himself or he's like speaking out loud and the class is making fun of him, you know? So it's a very sort of tactile experience for him where I'm like, it's very intense where you're not representing him falling asleep and having this dream and then being struck awake, you know, because the bell rings at school or anything. This is like, he's just, oh man, I looked out the window and I see, oh, there's a helicopter. Oh my God, Chuck Norris is coming and he's telling me something. So it's like, it's kind of insane. But again, this movie isn't trying to, I think, convince us of anything being realistic. It's really trying to just like punch up this kid wanting like so much more than he currently has. And if he has to like have these active fantasies like that to the point where his dad is brought in by the teacher, like into counseling, like your son is really struggling. He's really dreaming about that guy again. Dad's like, Chuck Norris. Oh my God, I'm such a computer nerd and my kid really loves Chuck Norris. little exaggerated, but this is a PG comedy, you know.
Exactly.
Don't ask too much from it. How do you feel about Beau in this?
I mean, I like Jerry. Jerry's doing a good job. I think he's doing his best as a solo dad. He's just very consumed with work. But I do like the fact that when he's called in to talk about his son's progress at school, Miss Chan, she kind of lays it out for him, and they together work on a plan to help Barry. And I like that. He doesn't just ignore the problem.
Yeah. He's like an active father. He just happens to be a nerd and not really understand like his son's needs.
Right.
But, you know, they go and they scout martial arts schools. He's like, my son wants to do this. Let's find a way to embrace it. You know, Miss Chan actually gives him a kind of a little bit of a dig, but not intentionally. She's like, have you ever tried like, you know, cosplaying his fantasy with him? And he's like, no. Right. You're right. I need to be more invested in my son. And then like she's hitting on him too, kind of. I'm like, all right, so I guess in Houston at the time, Beau is a hot commodity as a single dad. He's punching above his weight class with Miss Chan because she's on top of her stuff. Beau, he's a little bit behind the curve.
But what matters is the heart, you know?
He's got a good heart.
And
so does she. She's super invested.
She's great.
In Barry. She's super invested in Barry.
Yeah, she takes her job seriously. She believes in Barry. Even when the other teachers, you have the English teacher, Mapes, who's such a creep. And he's hitting on Miss Chan, and she wants nothing to do with him. And he's talking bad against Barry and the kids. I'm like, wow, this teacher sucks.
He is. He's pretty bad. And I like in that scene, they're sort of like walking through the high school, and he's trying to like convince her that she's too invested or she cares too much or something like that. And she's wearing like this giant brooch on her jacket in the shape of like avant-garde art or something. And I'm like, that's a major choice by the costume designer to include that, because it's like the size of a small dish. It's huge.
Yes.
But I was very drawn to
that too. I was very drawn, speaking of things in the background or part of a costume. There was an extra, and I took a picture of it, who was wearing a neck brace. And I just thought that was such a choice to have an extra wear the neck brace. And then she appears again in one of the gym scenes. She's on the bench because clearly she can't partake in gym class. I was like, wow, we took thought into this character.
It's not just Barry who's getting bullied at this school. No, this poor young lady got beat up by the bullies as well.
There's a neck brace on.
Well, speaking of extras, one of my other friends, Scott Cole, when I talked about this movie, said that his cousin was an extra in this movie.
Stop it.
And I
Stop
said,
it right now.
I said, what scene? And he said, I think it was just like the background scenes at the tournament. So you wouldn't like be able to point them out, basically. But I was like, wow, small world. Small
cool.
World. Very cool.
Wow. I would have enjoyed that.
Yeah, right. I was like, please tell me so I can go back and watch and like see where your cousin is in the movie. But he's like, no, you're not going to find it.
That's so random, isn't it?
It is pretty random. See, but you know, when you throw something out there and then all of a sudden you get a little nibble on the end of the hook and people are like, oh my God, I love this movie.
I never would have thought for Sidekicks. Ever.
Well, I'm happy because this is the one that's going to kick off Kung Foolery month here.
Yes.
Bad movies we love. So we're going in strong. We got Chuck Norris in the beginning. They're all going to be what I think I've deemed as martial arts exploitation films. I don't know if that's like super accurate, especially for this movie, which seems to really love martial arts.
Yeah.
And when you get to the end and it's like the Houston tournament, like the vast majority of people that participate in that sequence are not the cast. It's all like actual martial artists who have taken the time to do their routine and, you know, to fill that arena and do it there. They probably just filmed while the contest was going on. So this movie, I think, actually has a respect for martial arts in a way that something like American Ninja definitely does not. American Ninja is like such garbage, where they hired a guy with no martial arts training and the stunt coordinator was like, yeah, he's athletic, he'll get it eventually, but It's like he's not even a ninja. Like sometimes he wears a ninja costume, but the fighting is not like ninja stuff. It's not stealth a lot of the time. It's horrible, but sooner or later I'm going to make somebody watch it and talk to me about it.
Absolutely.
If you're listening to this right now and you've seen American Ninja, please reach out to me. Send me an email. You've got my email. It's at the beginning and the end of the show. Just listen to the beginning and the end. Forget the middle.
Yeah, forget the middle.
Forget the middle. No, the middle is where the meat is. And speaking of meat, what did you think of this nickname of Mr. Dumpling? As Mako describes this as a guy who beats up his opponent's fists with his face.
Yeah, well, you must always be ready, or else your name will be Mr. Dumpling.
As he hucks dough balls at a Barry, hits him in the face several times.
What would your fighting name be?
My fighting name? Maybe Butterball. That was like my nickname when I was in grade school. Not one that I gave myself, but...
Okay, I like it. It could be...
I'm Slippery.
You're so... Oh, we are building with this name and this persona. Okay.
Oh, I just outed myself, so everybody from my grade school will know.
That's good. Butterball. Okay.
Do you have a fighting name?
I don't. I would probably just go by Ruby. Yeah, I always think like if I was a superhero, my name would be Ruby, and I would like save cats. That's what I would do, and speak to cats and help the feral cats get neutered and spayed. Someone has to do it. It would be me.
That's a great cause.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love me some cats.
Oh, me too.
Was there a cat in this movie? I don't think so.
No, unfortunately.
Unfortunately not. But I was recording on a friend show for Nosferatu, and it was just like, oh yeah, they all have cats. Every version is like cat, 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 cat. So I was juiced up on seeing all the on-screen cats.
Okay, so I have to watch Karate Kid. I have to watch American Ninja just because. And I have to watch Nosferatu because of the cats.
Yeah, well, the newer one, she's got a cat. I think the 79 version, she's got 2 cats, little kittens. Very cute. And then the original, she also has a cat.
Oh, man.
Talk about cats that are unexpected.
Talk about that. The unexpected cat show. Yeah. Sorry, Seth. Goodbye. I'm leaving Movie Friends. No, I'm just kidding.
All we do is talk about movies that have cats.
Yes. Wow, I would love that.
I love cats. I might do it at some point. I'm trying to find space to talk about the movie Cats from, was it 2019?
Oh, I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but I've just heard such horrible things. I had plans to watch it with my family, like do a dinner night and like have a big, hey, this movie's horrible, let's watch it kind of event. And we just never did it. And then some friends have said it would be great for the show, maybe do it at some point. So maybe I just do like a feline month or something and do all cats.
Feline fine month. Wow.
Yeah. Feline February or
there you go. You could could do much better. Yeah.
So Mr. Dumpling is kind of ridiculous, but it keys in on the same sort of Karate Kid thing in that he's working with Mr. Lee in his environment, and then they do training sort of on the side. And I think the introduction to Mr. Lee is like intentionally very comical, but the scene where you have all the bikers in the restaurant and they're being jerks. I don't even know where they came from. They just showed up, the restaurant's closed, and they're all
so random.
Very random. But I think, we can all sort of see that they're dirty and they're rude.
Very rude.
And bikers are, I guess, like scary in large numbers.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So they put poor Beau in there and he's having a tough time. Mako is like, all right, I got this figured out. I'm going to make everybody food. And then we're going to have like a drunken master-esque dance where I accidentally beat all these guys up. Very conveniently. They won't even know that I beat them up. That's how convincing this is going to be. And it's kind of brilliant because not only does it sort of highlight the fact that this guy can actually fight, he just uses sort of what's at his disposal as a distraction. So how do you feel about that scene?
I liked it. Yeah, we have the tea, I think it's tea, hot tea spilling on the lap. Yeah. He's carrying the big tray of food and he's knocking into their heads. And all while Beau is under the table, just kind of like, I'm doing okay, shaking. But I like it. And it leaves us with, one, you don't let things control you. And two, believe what is, not what you think. I feel I need a Mr. Lee quote book. Like this, the motivational quotes that's he's providing are so great. But yeah, I really did like this scene.
Well, speaking of which, I wrote one down because it stood out to me when he said it. I mean, he's probably my favorite character in the movie anyway, but he said, the dream world is where the child lives. Growing older wouldn't mean growing wiser if not for dreams.
So good.
And then I think it's Barry says, he's like, oh, you're so wise or something like that. And he's like, where'd you learn that? And he's like, oh, TV. So, he's funny, but he's down to earth in a tangible way. He's a little bit dangerous in that he gives a young child nunchucks and also some mystery liquid to drink, which I'm like, is that booze? What is going on here?
I know. It kind of made me think of the water that Bugs gives to the team in Space Jam as like the placebo effect. Like, oh, drink the special stuff and here you'll get your groove back. Who knows what it was? And I like when Ms. Chan asked Mr. Lee what it was. He goes, oh, don't worry about it. It won't kill him. Just smells and tastes disgusting.
Yeah, he starts drinking it at home and his dad comes home and he's like, oh my God, is there a sewage leak? And Barry's trying to like waft the smell of the cup away. He opens the window. He's like, no, it's not sewage. And he's just hiding. He's so embarrassed, but I don't know why, other than you wouldn't want to tell your dad you're drinking a mystery liquid that a restaurant owner gave you and just said, trust me. I gave him a little bottle. He said, drink it 4 times a day. And he goes home and he pours a gigantic mug full of the liquid. Barry's like, no, I'm going to go after it. I'm not half-assing this one.
Of going in hard. I know. I thought the same thing. I'm like, I think we could take like little shots of this.
Yeah. Little sips. Definitely.
Little sips.
Space it out. Space it out, especially if it's as disgusting as it seems. You don't want to power through like that.
Yeah.
That's rough. How do you feel about doing some trivia right now?
Sure.
Time. Dude, this was hard to pull trivia from, so these questions might be a little rough on the trivia side, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay. Question number 1. Mako plays Mr. Lee, who is Barry's mentor. But in 1981, he played Chuck's mentor in what movie?
Do I get a multiple choice?
I probably should have made it multiple choice.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know, Nick. Tell me.
It's called An Eye for an Eye.
Wow.
Yeah. In hindsight, multiple choice would be helpful in situations like this. Maybe I'll incorporate that in the future. No.
I'm just, I'm always looking for how can I use context clues when I don't know an answer.
Smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. You got to figure it out. Okay, so question number 2. Oscar-nominated composer Alan Silvestri scored this film, but he also scored another film with Chuck Norris. Do you know what that film is? Sorry, it's not multiple choice.
Is it a movie from the 80s?
It is. You're halfway there.
That's all I got.
All right, I'll give you half credit on that.
Okay, cool.
It's from the 80s. It's Delta Force. So it's one of Chuck Norris's more famous action vehicles. But kind of cool to see, a really talented, well-regarded composer. Like, I'm going to do the score for Sidekicks because why not?
Right?
Yeah, my kids would love this.
Exactly.
I like it when really sort of renowned people in their field decide to work on a project that like they have to know is not going to be great, but they're not so persnickety that they protect themselves from having their name attached to something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of spoiled the third question on accident when I was reading through the little preamble, but I was able to quickly whip up another third question Also going to be difficult, unfortunately, but I'm going to give you the bonus point for the question that I ruined for you.
Well, let's see if I remember the answer. There's no guarantee.
All right. So, well, we'll go through it anyway. So the movie was the brainchild of what well-known furniture outlet owner in the Houston area?
Oh, it was a mattress. Maddie mattress. Maxwell mattress.
It was
Marvin mattress.
Mattress Mac.
Oh my gosh, Mac. Okay.
You got the alliteration right. You were pretty close.
I did.
It's all right. You're going to get credit for that one anyway. But the third one that I whipped up was Malia Bernal, who plays the Stone Dojo's women's champion.
Yes.
She is also the mother of what martial arts actor?
I wish you could see inside my brain now how it's like trying to just picture any person. I'm going to say their first name is David.
It is not. But his last name starts with a D-A, so...
Davis. Marshall Davis.
Pretty close. You got the first two letters of the first two names. Actually, you got the first two letters of each of the names. It's Mark Dacascos.
Wow. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm not going to lie.
Well, oddly enough, Mark Dacascos is going to be in another movie featured this month, which is Only the Strong, which the best way I can describe it is imagine Dangerous Minds, but instead of Michelle Pfeiffer, you swap out Mark Dacascos, and instead of teaching the kids poetry, he teaches them capoeira.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So they do a bunch of Brazilian dance fighting on the beach. And they learn the value of that, and they stay out of trouble.
Oh wow! Fun.
Yeah, it is pretty fun. So I think I'm gonna find I think Donnie's gonna do it, but I got one other person on the hook just in case. So that's gonna be a fun one. Definitely kind of a exploitation film when it comes to martial arts, because they just, you know, what movie was successful that people like? Dangerous Minds. Well, what if we just swap in karate?
Mm-hmm. Do you have your other films slated?
I do. So we're going to do Kung Pao, Enter the Fist.
Oh, I've seen Kung Pao.
Yeah, that's
Tell me, grew up with that. Yep.
We're going to do Only the Strong. And then I recorded The One, which is Jet Li, Jason Statham, Delroy Lindo, Carla Gugino. And it's about Jet Li's character killing all of the other versions of himself within the multiverse so that he can become the one.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It's not good, but it's super entertaining, very 2000s.
Yeah. I like the concept.
It's a cool concept. It seems like the focus of that movie was maybe not in the right area. It's like, you have a very cool character. What is his motivation? Never mind. Multiverse. You can't. They put a lot of exposition in the hands of Jason Statham with a very thick accent. So when he's trying to explain the multiverse and all the little factors in between it, it's like, let Delroy Lindo do that. He's your veteran presence. He's the more senior character in the movie anyway.
Right.
Saddle him with that.
Right.
So just a couple little bits of bonus trivia before we move on to the bonus wheel, which I just added a new question onto the wheel. There's like 20 on there now.
Whoa!
Gaining momentum. Lots of speculative questions. But so this film was originally part of Canon Films, and then Canon Films basically going bankrupt, and then Vision picked up the project, and they changed the title from Kick and Kick Back, which was not a good title, to Sidekicks.
Much better.
And they got Chuck Norris to stay on by promising that the film would be family-centric and moral, quote unquote. So Chuck Norris had very specific guidelines for the type of movie that he was going to make at this time, but he stayed on. And we already mentioned his brother is the director of the film, but his son also plays one of the bikers in the restaurant scene.
What?
Which is crazy because I didn't think Chuck Norris in this movie was old enough to have an adult son.
I know. Like now I'm thinking about those dudes. They look like they were all the same age as Chuck.
That's what I thought. I was like, wow, how old is Chuck Norris?
Chuck Norris can do anything, right?
He can.
Yeah.
I read one today that said Chuck Norris can light a fire by rubbing 2 ice cubes together.
That was such a thing. It was such a thing. It's just to quote Chuck Norris and what he could do.
It's great. I mean, the legend of Chuck Norris, if nothing else, like even if all his movies are bad, sort of producing that quotable like meme world that exists around him, I think is well worth it.
Absolutely. The lore of Chuck Norris.
Yeah, it's great. All right, well, let's go to the Wheel of Destiny. I don't think that's a real name for this, but we spin the wheel. We see what questions you're going to get. If it's a new one, there's some good ones on here. Oh, this is going to be a fun one for you, I think. Okay. So you can choose up to 3 characters from this movie who are going to start a podcast together. Who are those characters and what is their podcast about?
Whoa. Okay. I'm going to go a little corn on this. So we're going to do...
Who doesn't like corn?
Well, right. I'm going to pick Barry, Mr. Lee, and Miss Chan, and it's going to be an inspirational podcast, like 15 minutes of daily inspiration and daily wisdom. And then on Fridays, Mr. Lee is going to give you intention on how to spend your weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
I knew this was the right question for you.
Yeah. What would you do? Do you get to answer the questions?
I typically don't, but if you ask, I would say give me Stone.
Yes.
Definitely Stone. Definitely Mako. And it's a tough third. But if I had to, oh my God, the gym teacher.
Oh, yes.
Why do I not know that?
Gorn. Coach Horn.
Thank you. Yeah, he says in this movie at one point to Barry, the most insane thing maybe I've ever heard from a teacher to a student on film. He says he would kill himself and come back and haunt this kid when he's doing push-ups. Like if you drop dead or something, he's like, I'm going to kill myself and come back and haunt you. I'm like, whoa, that's pretty heavy for this movie.
Can you imagine? Also, that actor, Richard Mall, he seems very tall.
Yes.
Is he like 7 feet? Because he was just towering over everyone else, and I couldn't stop staring on how tall he was.
I don't know, but he's always like a big imposing force on screen. So I think the 3 of them would just make an insane podcast. But if I had to be like, maybe mentorship would be that one, because they all have very different approaches to it. You've got, Mr. Lee, who does things his way, very hands-on, very personal. You've got Stone, who's kind of a psychopath about it. And then you have the teacher who's been doing PE classes for probably far too long at this point in his life.
Yeah, that's good.
He believes in Barry, He
believes in Barry. Yeah. Stone having a podcast, like, do more!
That's why you need the other personalities to like sort of back him down a little bit. You're getting too hyped up. Put your shirt back on. Nobody can see this anyway.
Wipe your sweat off. Here's a rag.
That scene at the end where he sort of disrobes and it's like he's exceptionally oily despite having been wearing a gi the whole time.
Was that? I mean, again, he's so over the top. I enjoy it, but I'm like, where did this excess oil come from?
Yeah, I guess maybe he lubed himself up before putting the gi on because he was planning on having the dramatic reveal. And I was like, look, Joe Piscopo is in good shape for this movie. So when he does his flex, like it looks the way it's supposed to. But I think it's a little bit of a nod at Van Damme at the end of Bloodsport. Because, Van Damme is always oily. It doesn't matter that, it's soup. You could be in the middle of the desert. Doesn't matter. He takes his clothes off, oily.
It's got to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, you would know, Butterball, right? You were saying?
Yeah, a little slippery, you got to work on your footing. But that reminds me of one of my favorite scenes in all movies is in Striptease, where they walk in on Burt Reynolds, who's playing a congressman, and he's wearing nothing but his underwear, a vest, cowboy boots, and a cowboy hat. And he's glistening, and he's got like a little pink wad of dryer lint in his hand, and he's like hitting on it, like taking deep sniffs. And his assistant is like, he's late to a function, and his assistant comes in, and like the look on his face is just like, oh my God. He's like, what is going on? Why are you so shiny? And he just goes, it's Vaseline. No! I can feel it squishing between my toes. It's ridiculous, but he has so much fun in that movie, and I love it. Wow. Can't help it. I'm a weirdo, but yeah. All right, so let's see. Got another question off the wheel. Another new question too. Who is the MVP of this movie?
Oh. Like selfishly, I'm going to give it to Mr. Lee because he's my favorite. But probably Barry's the MVP because he overcomes a past self that he thought he was and proves to himself of who he could be. So like maybe Barry is MVP. Mr. Lee gets the blue ribbon. Vice versa. What are you thinking with this?
For me, it was a coin toss between Piscopo and Mako, because I think they're the characters who are two most responsible for making sure that this movie's comedy sort of stays within a certain range. And Piscopo is like such a good, despicable villain, despite being almost like a cartoon where it's like he's not a real threat, but he believes he's a real threat.
Doesn't he look like a Simpsons character come to life?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
So I feel like he just brings so much to like the villain role. And of course, I'm comparing it to Karate Kid, and he's playing opposite that character who's much more like straight laced, much more dangerous, much more malicious in his intent. Like this guy is just kind of like an egotistical moron, but seeing him also included into all of the fantasies helps. But yeah, Mako is so great as Mr. Lee in this that it's really hard to like not give it to him. If it were me, I like Jonathan Brandis. He delivers on what he's supposed to do. But if he were doing a little bit more of maybe the actual martial arts stuff, then I would lean his direction.
Can I ask you, what was your favorite dream sequence?
I think my favorite dream sequence is probably the one where they have the trench coats and the mullets and the sawed-off shotgun, and he whips out a bazooka for some reason, and he just gives Chuck this look of like, that's right, baby, it's bazooka time. And I think functionally it's a shift in the way that those sequences have gone, where he's taking more charge in the dream. And then they also rescue his girl in that moment. And you have Chuck asking like, well, where's Noreen? And then he explains, he's like, well, this is my dream, so it's my girl. And then the look of disappointment on Chuck's face when he realizes that it's like not his fantasy anymore. Like, it's subtly really funny. And I think Chuck Norris actually can be a very funny guy, but most of the stuff that he does throughout his career doesn't lean into that. Even the majority of this movie doesn't take advantage of how funny he can be.
Yeah, I agree. That was also my favorite dream sequence. And just the beginning of that, like, is it like an underground candy factory? What?
I think they're making gum, or I do see cotton candy in the background,
right?
But I think they blow up a vat of like now and laters, something liquidy but sticky.
And Piscopo is so funny in that one.
He is.
Yeah, it's great.
He's great.
All
right, so the last question on the wheel for you then is you get to fan cast a modern day version of this movie. So who would you want to be your Barry? Who would you want to be your Stone? And then let's see, who's the big three in this? I would say Chuck, I guess. Yeah. So who would be the Chuck Norris character?
Well, I'm tagging you in, friend, because who are we picking as Chuck? I'm not very versed in this world today. So who would make a good Chuck replacement?
I would say Michael J. White is probably the most Chuck Norris-like in that he is a very accomplished and disciplined actual martial artist. He is an actor. He's done a ton of action movies. You know, he's got a great sense of humor. He did like Black Dynamite. He did the sequel which, well, it's like a loose sequel, but it's a Western where he's kind of playing a similar role. But he was also Spawn. He was in the Universal Soldier movies with Jean-Claude Van Damme. So he's got the good mix of action and comedy where I think he'd be a good choice. As far as Piscopo, that's a little tougher because we need a... It doesn't maybe need to be that buff, but who's a villainous lead right now? Maybe give me Glenn Powell. It's a little bit
there you go. That's a good one.
A curveball, but I think he's shown that he can be like an arrogant D-bag, but also like he's in good shape. He's got a good sense of humor. We saw in The Hitman that he can play a lot of different roles. So I don't mind that. And then we need like a young kid actor. That's going to be the toughest one.
That's the toughest, right? Because I keep thinking about early 2000s. I'm like, oh, Chad Michael Murray. Put him in there.
Yeah.
But not now, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of teenage actors.
What have I seen?
Now. Yeah, what have I seen?
Of young people.
I mean, I think Tom Holland is a little too old, but would have been good for it at one point.
Yeah.
Jaden Smith already did Karate Kid, so you don't want to go that range. That's tough. Maybe one of the kids from Stranger Things. I think they're all still like semi-young at this point.
That would be good.
Maybe Noah Schnapp.
Yeah. That's good.
He plays Will.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good.
And he's like, even as Will, he's kind of like not quite an outcast, but a little bit of an outcast from his friends.
He could play it.
Yeah. Definitely give him a better haircut than he got in that most recent season of Stranger Things, though.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen
you'll see the cast. Yeah, you'll see the hair.
Like. Yeah.
You'll see
the hair.
I'm a hair stickler when it comes to movies.
Are you?
A little bit, yeah. Well, not intentionally, but we covered Mission to Mars on one of the Mars Madness episodes, and we spent a good amount of time talking about how bad Gary Sinise's hair was, and like, why would you do that? Why?
I get it. I get it. There's some TV shows and movies I've watched where I can't fixate on anything but the hair.
It happens, especially like bad wigs too. Like when I did the Scream 3 episode, and I was like, "What is up with Courtney Cox's bangs here?"
Yeah,
who made this decision?
Yeah.
So it happens. And especially, I think growing up too, in my family, it was always like wig watch. Like, who's got a bad wig?
Wig watch.
I got a lot of sisters, you know?
Okay.
We're all looking for wigs. Okay. Well, that'll close out the bonus wheel for us. But before we move on to the next thing, is there anything else that you like really wanted to talk about that we have not talked about yet?
No.
Wow.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Wow, look at that. We're ahead of the curve.
There you go.
All right. Well, let's head on over to Critics Corner, where we get to hear all of the crappy things that were said about this movie and some nice things. There's a little mix because there is no Metascore for this, so I had to pull the reviews myself. And none of them are from that time. I see 2000s, 2021. For some reason, 3 of them came out on the same day in 2021, as if they were strapped into chairs and forced to watch this movie. So I'm very curious to read through all of those. But we still got 5 on the board. Only one of them has a score attributed to it. So we're going to do things a little bit differently than we usually do. But we'll start with Michael Wilmington at the LA Times. He says, Sidekicks is amiable enough, even if cinematically it makes Cop and a Half look like 8.5. So, acknowledging that, you know, it's palatable, but not a very good movie.
Right.
So that was June 28th of 2021. Also on that day, we get Candace Russell from South Florida Sun Sentinel.
Ooh.
Seems like a very regional newspaper.
I would say so.
Yeah, it's like just this neighborhood in Florida.
A community of condominiums. Yeah.
She says it's soulful and funny and more than a few notches in quality above the films of those martial arts phenoms, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. She says this movie is better quality than the Ninja Turtles movies.
I'll take it.
I don't agree, but I mean, that is very nice to say of her. Yeah, we'll take it. Every little bit counts.
That's right.
So we'll go to Michael H. Price from the Fort Worth Star. Also, June 28th, 2021. Said, couched playfully amid all the ham-bone, hokum, and Rocky-style heroic flourishes of sidekicks, these hides are undeniable sense of dignity. Oh, their hides an undeniable sense of dignity and emotional uplift. So
there's so much like flowery language in that review. I'm focusing on, did it say ham bone?
Ham bone hokum.
Okay. Got it.
So he's like, yeah, it's cheesy.
Right.
There's a lot of repetitive stuff we've seen in other movies, but there is a core of actual like dignity and truth in sort of the character and the delivery. So I like that, because while it's played for laughs, it is very earnest in how it's portrayed. So
there's a lot of heart in this movie.
There is. And it's always nice to see.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to Renee Rodriguez from the Miami Herald. Says there's a sense of desperation about the whole thing. Norris and brother director Aaron, charged with salvaging Norris's flailing career, came up with a load of self-aggrandizing fluff. And he was like, I'm going to give this 1 out of 4.
All right.
The only one with the rating, and it's a bad one.
I mean, you're wrong, but okay. No, I'm just kidding.
He's like, I don't like these brothers. Your career was sucking. It's like Walker, Texas Ranger was like on the air continuously throughout the 90s. Beyond that, I wouldn't say his career was flailing, but
I bet this guy has a bad relationship with his brother.
Ooh, could see that.
So he's just taking it out on sidekicks.
Well, better be careful. Chuck might teach you a lesson.
I don't know.
Gonna rub some ice cubes together. All right, we'll close it out with Stephen Holden from the New York Times. This one was from May of 2003. It says the movie is burdened by fill-in-the-blank screenplay in which the actors have to spout such nuggets as dreams do come true if you want them bad enough and remain kindly and straight-faced.
It's just a true statement. Manifestation, baby.
He doesn't like it. This is someone who's had their dreams ruined or didn't want them bad enough.
Right. Well, also, in this movie, it proves that sometimes meeting your heroes is a good thing.
Yeah, it's very rare.
It worked out. But it's rare that if you meet your idol, sometimes that doesn't always work out.
It doesn't. And I guess when I was a kid, one of the biggest questions that I had in this was at the very end of the movie, they're hanging out, tournament over, trophy in hand, lessons learned, comeuppance given. Chuck and Barry are hanging out on the bench. And then Chuck vanishes. As if he was never there in the first place. And I don't know if my child brain could understand, was this just another fantasy that the entire thing, Chuck Norris was never there, but sort of Barry beginning to believe in himself and like having self-confidence, like you said, manifestation. Did he just manifest all of this, but none of it was real? Or was Chuck there?
I think Chuck was there, but not at the end on the bench. I think that was Barry saying goodbye to his inner Chuck and being like, I don't really need you anymore. Or like that. And he gets up and he leaves with his dad and Miss Chan, and he leaves the magazine for someone else to find and to be inspired by.
It's a really like sweet message for like a movie that is intent on doing that. I could see people being like, "Oh, it's cheesy, right?"
I mean, it's a PG kids movie, right?
Exactly. Like understand like the field of play that you're on here,
Right.
So there is part of me that is torn between like wanting to imagine Chuck sort of like a helicopter flying by and he just grabs the ladder and just gets pulled away so quickly that Barry doesn't see him. Or he decides to like hop over the wall and hide and just like, this is how I get out of here. There's my horse is waiting for me down below, so I just jump over and ride away. But
if they did that, that just adds a whole new level to this movie.
Well, in the remake that we're recasting, we'll do it
That's
that
right.
way.
That's right. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, Critics Corner wasn't so bad. I think not having the scores attached to it helped because, not all of them seemed as bad as maybe they did, even though it was technically, what is it, a splatted tomato? I always thought it was a pickle for the longest time. It took me looking really closer. I think somebody said it. And it's like, no, like the tomato's good and the splat is like when the tomato is thrown. I was like, oh. I was like, I thought it was pickles.
That's great. That's fantastic.
We're pro pickles around here. What can I say?
We're pro pickles always.
Got pickles on the brain.
Yes.
Okay, well, we've got two more things to get to. One of them is more or less. So I want you to tell me what is something that you want this movie to have more of, and what do you want this movie to have less of?
I will take more training sequences because they hype me up. This is all me being selfish. I feel good, and I want to see that on screen because the way they were done, I thought they were beautifully shot. And then less of nothing, dare I say.
Oh,
nothing.
That is bold.
Yes, and I'm sticking to it.
That's bold. I like it. I think the one thing I really wanted more of was Mako's like friend group, because he brings Barry to like a junkyard, or I don't know exactly where they are, maybe a shipyard, but he's bringing him there to like train him how to break the bricks.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there watching and sort of like coaching from the sidelines, but behind him is a bunch of other friends of his. And I think they're gambling on whether or not Barry is going to be able to break the brick. And I'm like, that's what I want to see. These guys how much money are they gambling on this kid right now? Because when he fails the first time, you see like one guy's excited, but the other guy's not. I'm like, oh yeah, I totally know that vibe.
I love that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. Other than that, I wouldn't really say less of anything.
I mean, did you feel the timing and pacing?
Yeah, it's an hour and a half. It's real quick.
Yeah, right? We're not wasting time, I don't think.
Do you have a favorite scene in this movie?
I do. My favorite scene, and again, I'm going to show you a picture, is so for those who are listening, it's during a training sequence. And I don't know where they are in Houston, but Barry's on the bike. Oh, no. Excuse me. Barry's running. And I think Mr. Lee is on the bike. And we just see this visual of their shadows going around there's like water, the water falling. And it's so beautiful. And it looks like they're on top of the world in this silhouette. That's my favorite scene.
Yeah, cinematographer took the assignment seriously. Like in the location
That's a film moment. That is gorgeous.
That is a film moment, and we'll circle back to that.
Okay.
I think, as weird as it is, my favorite scene is probably where Barry blacks out at the tournament and then goes buck wild in ninja mode with the nunchucks. Like that feeds my childhood obsession with this movie so much. I was like, oh man, I wish I could wear that white suit and dual wield nunchucks like that.
I know. I felt the same last night. I'm like, man, I really should take up martial arts. When I took jujitsu, they would teach us, obviously they were teaching you self-defense, but the one thing we had to say, and it was so cringy, if someone were to approach us, right, in real world, we'd have to step back and go, hey man, I don't want any trouble.
Need a disclaimer before you get attacked on the street?
I mean, can you imagine who's taking you seriously if that's the first step you do?
Right?
Hey man, I don't want any trouble.
Oh, excuse me. Well, I was going to give you trouble, but now that you mention it, I'll let you go on with your day.
Oh, we had to begin class like that. Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Very interesting. I see why you didn't stick with it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since you brought up this is a shot from a film, this is a film shot. Is this a movie, a schmovie, or a film?
Yeah. This to me, I used to rate this as like a schmovie. Do you know what a schmovie is? Because those who are listening, I'm a part of the Movie Friends podcast, and we rate movies as movies, schmovies, or films. If you get it, you get it. It's something you feel in your gut.
Yeah, well, I think in your review for this show, you wrote that I talk about our favorite schmovies, and I think that's, for the most part, fairly accurate.
Right.
Stuff that we acknowledge is, like, not good, but it gives us something that we like anyway, and it's enjoyable.
Yeah. And so I think this is a schmovie. This is like a 5-star schmovie for me.
Oh, okay. I was curious if it was gonna like little ratchet up there and get to movie territory.
I know but sometimes a 5-star schmovie is almost like a film. It's like a great compliment to be a 5-star schmovie.
It is. It's like the highest honor of the schmovie world.
That's right. It's the highest honor. Yeah.
Yeah, and this schmovie has a film moment in it.
I know.
So film appreciators can watch it.
That's right. That's right.
Get that little hit.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? There was brilliance there the whole time.
There was. Yeah. What would you rate this?
On that scale?
Yeah. Do you think it's a movie? A schmovie?
I think it's borderline movie schmovie.
Yeah.
It's like right on that cusp.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where, of course, a lot of the things that the critics said about it, I think are kind of accurate. I mean, it is derivative of a lot of those other movies, but a lot of those other movies are not PG movies for kids. And I think the most comparable one would be Three Ninjas. And I feel like this is better than Three Ninjas. Three Ninjas is a little bit dumber. It's more the kids are all younger. It's much more focused on like the dynamic of the brothers and them being like into goofy shenanigans. So it's almost getting into like cartoon territory, where this is just, sure, it's not like an elite film, but it's doing exactly what I think it set out to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We're on the same page.
Yes, we are.
All right, so now we get to the gateway drug movie, which is always an interesting one, because I don't know if you have a lot of movies like this in your repertoire, but for someone who hasn't seen Sidekicks, what's a movie that you'd recommend to them to get them to cross over to Sidekicks?
Well, I wouldn't want to show them any, because I want this to be their first entry point into this world. Because if I showed them anything else, like Karate Kid, they'd be like, oh, Sidekicks is just the poor man's version. No thanks. So, Sidekicks only. No gateway drug needed. Pure stuff happening.
Yes, comparison is the thief of joy.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you compared it to Karate Kid, I get it, right?
Yeah.
I think Three Ninjas is comparable in that range as well. I would suggest a worse movie in American Ninja, just because it's the only time I'm ever going to get to recommend American Ninja to anybody. And I want people to watch it.
How much do you love American Ninja?
Like a very stupid amount, but it's mostly nostalgia.
Yeah, okay.
But I knew, even when I was a kid, I knew that it was bad.
Oh.
That's how bad it is. It's not even a movie that I thought was good then, but it was like Michael Dudikoff just like had that like steely-eyed look, and like he was doing like the Blue Steel look from Zoolander, and he wore the ninja outfit, and it was like just totally a layup for little white boys that loved karate. It's like, not only was he not a ninja to begin with, but now he's the best ninja, and he's fucking American. Like it's that kind of low-hanging fruit.
Gotcha.
Oh, well, this has been a joy. And this is not the only place that you come to talk movies or to talk on podcasts. You got a lot of stuff going on. So where can people find you?
I do. Yeah. If you would like to hear me talk with Seth Vargas, who I'm sure many of you are fans of, come listen to Movie Friends. Every month we have a new theme. It's a lot of fun. And if you're into nostalgic teen dramas, Total Betty Podcast Network is your place to hang. We have covered One Tree Hill, Let's Talk OC, Friday Night Lights, Gossip Girl, and we're currently covering every episode of Pretty Little Liars.
Wow. All of those shows, my wife loves.
They're the best. That's my love language, is the OC. But teen dramas, TV, that's my space. Yeah.
I remember sitting in the car with her and listening to the OC show at one point. I don't know how much she continued with it beyond that, but we listened to like a couple episodes, and then she was like, "Oh yeah," like looking at the whole roster and like, "I'm going to do this." And then she rewatched season 3.
Oh, well, Kristen's going to come be a guest when Seth and I cover season 3.
I don't want to like upsell it, but she's like very much looking forward to that. She's so excited.
We're very much looking forward
from New York
to
and was like, season 3, I'm starting it right now. She was plugged in.
Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, I was just talking to Seth about this last week of when we're going to start season 3. So Kristen will be the first person I text to schedule. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think we're going to do Friends.
Oh, can I please be a guest?
Yes. That's what I was going to say.
Please.
Because we're going to do it hers, his, and ours. So it's going to be a show of hers, a show of mine, and then something that we both love together. So I think there's no way we can't do Friends first. So
right.
Friends will be the first one we do together, and then we'll figure it out. And we're just going to go the entire show, all 10 seasons.
Wow.
Insanity.
What a
2
journey.
years. 2 years.
Wait, so is the Hours Friend, like, what is that, your pick or that's your pick together?
It's our pick together. So It's like we sort of grew up on different trajectories where she wasn't allowed to watch rated R movies. Like they didn't have a legacy cable. I grew up also watching like Seinfeld, Friends, Fresh Prince, like a lot of the stuff that was on TV, especially in the reruns. But as soon as we got cable, I was like, nope, I'm watching only like adult stuff now. So like Sopranos, Oz, 6 Feet Under, all the legacy HBO shows, maybe even throw like Dexter in there, The Shield. So it's going to be like guy stuff.
Oh man, Dexter, the new Dexter, which I can't keep up with the title that follows.
Young Dexter?
Yes, it's really good.
Okay, good.
I love Dexter, except I didn't like the original run's ending.
Yeah. You and me both, and probably everybody else. And then they brought that back briefly for like a limited.
I liked it.
Dexter in Alaska, right? I didn't watch that yet, so
I thought that was good. Yeah.
We'll have to get caught up, but Friends is 200 and something episodes, so maybe but it's a sitcom. We might be able to do more than 3 in a row.
Yeah, that's true. You could, depending on how you structure your shows and episodes.
Because right now it's like, hour-long drama, 110 episodes. So let's keep it to 20 to 30 minutes per episode of discussion. And then we'll watch 3, record 3, release 3, and just try to keep that cycle going. So
good momentum. That's
good.
It
is. It's a lot. But it gives us something to watch together. So
yeah, I'm excited for you guys.
Thank you. Me too. Well, Michelle, this has been a pleasure. I'm
Thanks
so glad that we
me.
finally got it on the books.
I know. Thanks for having me. I hope that this episode, 1, reinvigorated people who love sidekicks, but 2, if you listened without ever seeing this, which I always find interesting when people do that. Do you find that weird? People are like, oh, I didn't know this movie, but I listened to you guys talk about it anyway. I'm like, what?
It depends. I mean, there's a lot of shows that I listen to where it's like, I don't feel that the movie's going to be ruined for me.
Oh.
And so I'm like, it's fine. I'm just listening to my friends chat. So.
Okay. So if you're like
really
Nick, I hope you watch Sidekicks and then let Nick know. And then Nick will let me know because I would just love to hear about your experience watching it.
That's right. We're all sidekicks until we're the main character of our own story.
There you go.
That's the moral of the movie.
That's right.
Well, you are welcome back literally anytime. It'd be my pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you.
You have yourself a good night, and we'll get this one out to start April.
Sweet.
Well, take care.
Bye.
A big thank you to Michelle for coming on the show and helping me kick off Kung Foolery Month here at Bad Movies We Love. I've been looking for an excuse to get her on the show for a long time, and I didn't anticipate it being sidekicks, but here we are. So if you had fun with us, make sure you check out the Total Betty Podcast Network and, of course, Movie Friends. And you will find all of that in Michelle's Linktree, which is conveniently located in the show notes. And Kung Foolery rolls on in April as we will be taking on Kung Pao Enter the Fist, Only the Strong, and The One. So stay tuned because it's going to be a great month. And of course, thank you to everyone who took the time to listen to the episode. I know there's a seemingly infinite number of options when it comes to podcasts, and I appreciate you letting me into your ear holes and hopefully into your hearts. In all seriousness, though, time is valuable, and I am very grateful that you've entrusted me with yours. If you enjoy the show, please consider leaving a review or at least a rating and telling a friend about it. If you don't enjoy it, then maybe let's keep that between us. As I mentioned in the open, the new members only section is in fact live at badmovieswelove.captivate.fm/support, where you're going to get access to a bunch of goodies for only $5 a month. And I would absolutely love to hear from you, so if you have a bad movie you love and would like to be a guest on the show, you can contact me at badmovieswelove@theshice.com or badmovieswelove spelled LUV on Twitter and Instagram. And until next time, take care, be well, stay safe, and have fun however you get your movies. I know you're out there somewhere, Rids. I love you.